Amazing. Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for sharing your time with me today, but also creating time and space for you. This session is all about designing your best year, and it's embedded into the 21-day challenge where we're going to dive in together to reflect, to learn about some journaling and scripting techniques and practices, all around helping you live your legacy. So I'm super stoked for this new program. I'm hoping that it will really help you to harness your intentions for the year and start to live them authentically. Please know that we are recording today's session and you do have access to the chat. So if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to pop them in the chat at any time. So welcome. My name is Jenny, and I'm really here to be your tour guide today for this what might be a new practice or experience for you, or for some of you, an invitation to welcome it back into your life. So designing your year using journaling and scripting techniques and practices really breaks down into a few fundamental steps. The first is creating a time and a space for your practice where you can be as grounded as possible, but also coming at the practice in a higher vibe, right? We really want to be choosing times for our journaling and our scripting where we can be at a higher vibration so that the positive energy and creativity can be flowing. And we're going to talk about that today. Of course, we also always need to be in a place where you're choosing for you to commit to this journey. We will talk today about your vision for life, your vision for this year. Start to percolate on what your why statement is going to be. Why is your life, right? So what is the purpose for you in this life, but also what is your why specific to this year? So we're going to talk a lot about that this morning. We'll also dive into intentions, and intentions are really going to be the backbone or the driver for your incredible vision for this year and beyond. And that means we're going to do a lot of reflecting, reframing, and refocusing as part of our journaling practice over the next 21 days. And then you're going to also, through the scripting, be beginning to design what you envision for yourself. And I think probably the hardest step of all is leaning into what we need to lean into, letting go of what we need to let go of so that we can actually start to live it, right? That's where the big work starts to come in. So our first action today is to ground ourselves in this present moment, in the space where you are at this time. And to help us with that, we are going to do two things. The first thing that we are going to do, oops, sorry, wrong direction, is a mini meditation. So I would like for you to, wherever you're sitting, make sure that you're comfortable enough that you have the space to breathe. I'm going to turn off my video so that I am not a distraction. I'm going to put a little bit of music on, and I'm going to take you through a little mini meditation and affirmation for us today. would like for you to start to focus on your breath. Deep inhalations and let it all go. Breathing deeply in and letting it all go. Feel the air fill your lungs as you draw it in. Feel everything relax as you exhale it out. Allow yourself to sink into this present moment. I am clear on who I am. I am clear on what I want. I am clear on where I'm headed. I am clear on the influencers in my life. I am clear on those who will not be influencing my life. I am clear on how to weigh an opinion and things I want to change in my life, and those I do not wish to change in my life. I am clear on establishing my goals and reaching for them. I am clear on the relationships I'd like to nurture. I am clear on the friendships that have run their course. I am clear on where I want to be financially. I am clear on where I want to be relationally. I am clear on where I want to be spiritually. Keep breathing. I know what my personal goals are. I know what my personal aspirations are. I know what my professional goals are. And I know what my professional aspirations are. I'm aware of what I need to do to get there and where I want to be. I am aware of the distractions and the barriers. I am aware of the people, places, and things that can get me into some setbacks. But I also know how to work around them. I know how to change course, and I know how to pivot. I know how to be clear and how to be clear in my life, in my thoughts, in my heart, and in my spirit. And I am clear. I am clear on my purpose. I am clear on my destiny. I am clear on fulfilling my dreams, and I am clear on a sense of happiness. I am clear on who I am and how I want to be in each situation, in each predicament, and in every opportunity. I am clear. There are no clouds. There is no fog. It is clear. I am clear on the results I want in my life. I am clear on how I want to feel about myself. I am clear on how I'm going to make things happen. And I see the gifts I have been given in my life, the amazing opportunities and the incredible blessings. I am grateful for how rich I am in many ways. I am clear on how I've learned from my mistakes. I have learned from the past. I have learned from pain. And I am clear on how to cope with the challenges, and I am clear on how to cope with pain. I am clear on how to take care of myself and to go through seasons of bloom and blossom and seasons of dryness and desert. I am clear. I am grateful for this clarity, and I am grateful for the blessings in my life. I am grateful for the future that lies before me, and I am grateful for the ability to design the life I choose to live. Take another deep breath in and let it all go. And when you're ready, bring yourself back into this present moment. And think about how you are feeling in this moment. It's really important as we start to move into taking ownership of creating, of designing, of living our lives, that we start from a place of grounding and openness to those possibilities. And a good way that we can do that is to take a moment to check in with yourself. When we do a check-in, it's a full body scan. Where am I at in this present moment? Mind, body, and soul or spirit. And you'll find this activity in your workbook. It's a simple reflection and an opportunity for you to think about how you feel in your body right now. Then to think about and refocus on, how do you wish that you could feel? And think about something that you're excited about. This is also an incredible activity to ground you during the everyday moments of chaos that creep into our lives. So if you have a moment of anxiety or anxiousness, or a moment of concern or doubt, a moment when perhaps imposter syndrome sinks in, or whatever your shadow side, however it comes to you, this is a great tool to shine some light into that shadow, to reflect on how that moment is triggering, how it is making you feel. For you to be able to reflect almost as a bystander. How have I chosen to respond to this moment in time? How would I like to respond in the future? How do I wish I could feel during these times of challenge? And once you've dove into that, that last question of something that you are excited about is a trigger for you to let go of how you were feeling. Your goal for how you wish to feel is to bring something in that will bring you joy or bliss. So finding that thing that you are excited about to help you move forward from that moment in time. So this is an incredibly powerful tool in your toolbox for you to go to on any day at any time as things are presenting themselves to you, to allow you to move forward as your best self in your best state. And here's something that I'd really love for you to consider for the next 21, 30 days and beyond. Because this Design Your Year challenge is really all about helping you learn to speak better to yourself and put things out to the universe, which is all about manifesting. And manifesting is so magical because it opens the door for you to believe, for you to dream in the art of what is possible. And anything, my dear friends, like anything is possible. And so it starts with asking yourself, what if? Not why, not how. What if? And then paint yourself the picture of what comes next. What if I could live pain-free? What if my business took off? What if I had greater clarity in my life? What if I had greater courage in my life? What if? And so for these types of activities, it can happen anytime you're journaling, anytime you're on a walk and your brain just starts to go in flow. Ask yourself, what if? The next time you're at a crossroads, take a moment to sit down, lean into what if, and start to write or start to talk. For many of us, writing is easier because we can hide literally behind the pages. When we allow our words to just naturally flow and we don't edit them and we don't stop that flow by, ooh, I can't write that. The art and the magic in journaling and scripting is allowing yourself the space to just write. So I'd like for you to take just a couple moments to stay comfortable in the space that you're in right now. and think about what if. Likely something has already come to your mind to finish that sentence. That's the first thing you need to hone in on. What did your brain, your heart, your soul fill in? What if? Make note of that draw to you. That draw is speaking to you right now. So take a moment. If you've got a pen, if you've got paper, take a moment. At that top of the page, in the middle of the page, at the bottom of the page, in the little corner of the page, wherever speaks to you, start with writing, what if? Manifesting is about creating flow, creating space for yourself to think. It will allow you to find and see the abundance, your success, the unconditional love. To imagine what is possible. What if? So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to dive into your what if. What if is probably the most powerful scripting tool that I have in my toolkit. And I love to use this at the beginning of a new year, sometimes in the middle of the year or towards the end of a year, basically any time where I catch myself wishing or thinking or praying for something different, for a path forward. Because the truth of the matter is that each and every one of us has all of the tools, all of the information, all of what we need available to us when we decide to go in for the answers instead of seeking everything externally. And this exercise can be super short some days, and other days it can be a multi-day activity. It can be something that you come back to and revisit. Today is really just about giving you some samples, letting you sink into the practice and find a part of it that will resonate with you to carry you forward beyond this 21 days. And this is where we start to think about and dive into what are your intentions? Perhaps also aligned with what are your values? Where is it that you want to go? But more importantly, how is it that you want to be living? And so when we're thinking about intentions, it's really about two pieces. One, I want for you to pause and reflect on, why are you choosing to do this challenge? What about this challenge is speaking to you? What are you hoping that this challenge will help you with, will guide you towards? Why? And then think about anchoring that why in your intentions, which are often about how you want to feel. So when we tie our goal, when we tie the why to how we want to feel in our mind, in our body, in your soul, or in your spirit, that's where the magic happens. Because as human beings, we are emotional creatures. Own that, understand that we are driven by emotion. And there is no positive or negative emotion. It is how we equate that emotion that we feel, how that triggers responses in other elements of our whole being. When you feel happy, what does that feel like in your mind, in your body? It vibrates at a totally different frequency. You can feel it in your spirit. You feel uplifted. So when you're looking to your intentions for the next 21 days, because it's not just about participating in a community and in a challenge, it's about your goals and your intentions for the next 21 days. How do you want to feel in your mind for the next 21 days? How do you want to feel in your body for the next 21 days? How do you want to feel in your soul or your spirit for the next 21 days? What does that look like in your mind, in your body, and your spirit? What does it sound like? Intentions are a powerful tool to not only ground us, but to guide us forward. Understanding that intentions, when we have clarity on them, will light your path forward. They will point you in the right direction. They become your compass for choices. So take a moment right now to think about why now, and how do you want to feel while you're participating and while you're diving into either a new practice for mindfulness and visioning, or again, inviting yourself back into a practice. And once you have some clarity there, then you need to take it to that next step. Intentions, long-term, for your life, not just the next 21 days, but from today and when you're in tomorrow and every day after that. What's your why? And, why can be and is often referred to as a combination of what is your passion and what is your purpose. And for many of you, you know that I've worked with an incredible coach who also just totally changed my perspective of life, probably about 5 years ago now, Jerry Visca. And that's why I got involved with his why movement, because I really resonated with his identifying of what why is. And for Jerry, why is about a world helped by you. When you find the spark that speaks to you and lights you up, your impact rippling out into the world is incredible. So think about what lights you up. What is your spark? And again, ground that in an intention. Don't worry about thinking about the how. Just gain clarity on what your why is. What is your passion? What is your purpose? And when you are living your passion and when you are living your purpose, how does that feel in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit? How does that make you feel? Because when you can wake up every day and swing your legs out of bed and put them on the floor, feeling that way in your mind, your body, and your spirit, there is no stopping you. When you have clarity on your why, your whole being vibrates at a whole different level. You show up as your very best self, and you impact your life and the lives of those around you. Another great exercise when you're trying to look at life intentions and setting some goals for this year is the Wheel of Life exercise. And I will send each of you, when I send the link to today's recording, a PDF of this exercise for you to work through. If you haven't done it for a while, this is something that I like to do probably every quarter, right? So every 3 or 4 months, I will revisit my Wheel of Life exercise to see how I'm showing up in each of those key elements of my life. My career, my health and wellness, my relationships, financially, and so on. So let's talk a little bit about this challenge and what you are going to be experiencing over the next 21 days for those of you who haven't started yet. So in your workbook and this challenge, it's designed to get you thinking, to have you stretch a little bit more. Every single day within the challenge has 3 key elements. An introduction, which is a thought or a concept for you to reflect upon. And that often has a little mini question embedded into it as well, which is a great question to sort of warm you up a little bit into the journaling and the scripting. Then, of course, this really is about scripting and designing your best year. And so the second element with each day is a specific question for you to read, reflect, and then journal on, following our key scripting principles. And lastly, but not least, there are also some journal prompts. One for the morning and one for the evening. And so there are a couple of different ways that you can tackle this. If you want to stay true to the challenge, you will complete each of these every day for the next 21 days. I recognize that life can get in the way and that we can get in our own way. And so for whatever reason, if that doesn't speak to you, then what you may choose to start with is any one of those 3 and extend this challenge beyond if that makes it more accessible to you because you don't have the time to commit at this point to doing all 3. I think it's important for you to reflect back on your intentions for this experience and reflect and review those before you dive into each day. It's also key to think about, and I would encourage you to try some instead of none. That's my workout mantra. My goal is to move every day, and I remind myself that some is way better than none. And that could be true for this challenge as well, right? So there's going to be days where you wake up and you're like, I can't. Try to flip that. Try to do some instead of none. Just open up your workbook and read the intro and let the question percolate. It might surprise you. You might actually be driven to put something down on paper. If you're not into writing, another great tool is to use your cell phone and record. Have a little conversation with your future self or your past self, because scripting is all about writing in the present. So let's dive into that a little bit more. What the heck is scripting? So what's the difference between scripting and journaling? Let me start with the journaling side of things. Journaling is you writing. You can write in whatever tense you want, in whatever language you want. It could be point form. It can be long sentences. You could write a novella. Doesn't matter. Journaling is just whatever's popping into your brain and you go. Scripting is very similar, except there are a few key changes that I would love for you to harness and focus in on, because it will totally flip the script in terms of your ability to manifest what it is you're seeking. And the top 3 are writing in the present tense. Your goal is to write as if you are already living it. It is happening, to immerse yourself into it. The second is to be as detailed and specific as you can. Describe everything in detail and use your sensory aptitudes to create as you write. What I mean by that is, if you know that you are auditory predominantly, I want you to think about what each of those activities that you're writing about, or moments in time, through sound. What are you hearing? We've also already talked about how human beings are feeling creatures. We are driven by emotion, so it will help you to write about how that would feel. Basically, you're writing your experience or your story in as much detail as possible. So think about, when you're reading for fun, when you're reading fiction, we tend to each be drawn to different genres and different styles of writing. But think about your favorite author, and then think about what draws you to how they write, and then allow yourself to sink into a similar personal writing style, because that will speak to you beyond the page. And thirdly, the best tip of all, of course, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, is the importance to be writing when we are in, particularly when we're scripting. You can journal and be in a bah humbug kind of mood, no problem. Journals can be written about whatever emotion or state you are currently in. But when we are scripting, we want to be in as high vibrational a state as possible, as high energy, in an inspired space. So you need to know what gets you there. Maybe you need to bring yourself down a little bit so you can settle and ground. Maybe you need to lift yourself up a little bit. So for me, one of my key tools is I'll use music, because I'll know what style of music I need before I start to script. And it just has to be one song. Sometimes what I will do is I will rely on my bowl to bring my vibration up where I want it to be. So I want you to think about where you are in your space right now and how you are feeling. Music has power. You will find that you naturally resonate with different tones. And so sound bathing is phenomenal. And you can YouTube it. There are people out there that just have YouTubes with bowls for sound bathing, and you can find one that really gets you to the frequency that works for you. So that's one of my tools, just using my playlist on Spotify, where I can pick a song that helps me get through. No, that's not a bowl full of chips. It was actually it's a meditation bowl, and my hubby bought it for me for Christmas a couple years ago. So a really nice gift. On my wish list is one of the glass crystal bowls because they tend to be a deeper and a different pitch or tone, which just really I find resonates well. And you can get and purchase bowls based on the note that they'll play. So you have to know, again, what sounds work for you. For some people, that tone maybe worked and maybe didn't. I wasn't on the best surface here today, so didn't quite get the crispness, but finding what will get you up. Sometimes for me, it also means just getting outside and taking a walk, right? To get in the right mind space, to get that fresh air, and then I can come in and I can start to write. I'll often find that as I'm walking is probably the best meditation tool around for those of us that like to walk and like to connect with nature. Getting outside is a way for my brain to let things go, but it also picks up the craziest things. So I will often have to leave myself a voice note for something that I want to remember and think about when I do get home and I actually have the space to write. Because in the winter, it's really hard to take my notebook outside with me. Your hands get a little cold trying to write those epiphanies that come to you while you're on a stroll. So if you're interested in more sort of how do I script, what are some of those tips and tricks for scripting, you can absolutely visit my blog. There's a couple of posts up there now on scripting and journaling that might be of interest, and I will include that in the follow-up email with the link to today's recording to help you get a little bit more underway from what that's going to look like for you. I think one of the key things that I really found for myself is the perfectionist in me gets really frustrated when my journal didn't look pretty. Right? So if I made a spelling mistake, it would stress me out. And I don't want to, I didn't want to be using whiteout in my journal or in my scripting. So my low-tech solution for that, because I couldn't let it go as much as I said, Jenny, like you're just right? Don't edit, don't worry about it, just go, was to shift to mechanical pencil for my journaling and my scripting. And then I found these friction pens, and they come in all sorts of different colors and they're super erasable. Like that's what they're designed for. So that was brilliant because then I could have my favorite color in my journal, but not get stressed out when I wrote something out of anyway. So that helped me greatly, right? So it's finding those little tips and tricks. It's deciding on, what kind of book you want, right? So I try to find one that will actually lay flat as much as possible so that I'm not trying to write in a book that won't lay down. So it's all those little things that will inspire you to just keep going. And so maybe that means, fun colors of washi tape for your pages. So under whatever it means for you, maybe it's some fun stickers or colored pens. Maybe it's creating a little space in your house. Maybe it's, encouraging your family to help you have 5, 10, or 15 minutes each day to actually journal. Maybe it becomes a family activity, right? As we said earlier, most times, if you've tried journaling or scripting in the past and it hasn't stuck, most times it's because you've set expectations for yourself that were too high and you didn't believe in it enough to stick to it. So your challenge this time is to really work to give yourself 21 consecutive days where you carve out some time or space. Don't put a time on it. Just agree to sit down and start. Just sit down and start. So what are some of your next steps? Your next steps are to take a look at that workbook if you haven't already. Some of you would have leafed through every single page already and been like, ooh, what's coming? Right? So if you get a brand new book, how many chapters are in this book? There might be some of you in our community that are like, I need to read the last page before I start this book. That says a lot about our personalities. We're not going to go into that today, but I do want you to make sure that you have it in an accessible format for you. So you don't have to download it. It's a hefty workbook. You can use it as a companion to your own journal or just some paper. As I said, you might also choose to orally do your journaling and your scripting. So whatever path forward you take is perfect for you. If you haven't already started, then I would suggest that today you do the first few pre-pages, which are some of the pieces that we talked about in our time together today. And that then you'll be ready tomorrow to start with day 1. When we meet next Saturday, we're going to be able to talk about some of the things that have been coming up for you in your scripting and in your journaling, if you wish to share. And I'll also be sharing some additional tips and tricks for journaling and for scripting to help you keep that momentum up. We will start our session again next week with a guided affirmation meditation so that we can ground before our session together. So what I'm going to do before we wrap today, this is another one of my favorite tools. So you're not going to need this or anything like this right away because the program has all of this already built in for you. But I really, really do love these cards. So Love Powered Co. is a Canadian company run by 2 incredible biz babes bosses. And they have a What's Your Power affirmation deck. So it comes in a beautiful box. Sorry, there's a bit of a glare today with all my light coming in. You can actually get these at Chapters. So I've shuffled the deck and I've picked 3 cards. So I want you to just look at the cards for a moment. This is card 1, card 2, and card 3. They all look the same, but there will be one that speaks to you. You will naturally gravitate to one of these cards. Is it card 1? Is it card 2? Or is it card 3? If it is card 1, here is what your affirmation is to take you through today and tomorrow. Card 1, gratitude is your power. I am grateful. I am happy. I am blessed. I inhale love, exhale gratitude, and give thanks for all of my blessings. I am grateful. Each card also has some questions at the bottom for you. In this moment, what are you grateful for? And how does this make you feel? Card number 2. Patience is my power. I am patient. I am calm. I am forgiving. I take a deep breath and trust that everything will always work out in divine timing. I am patient. Can you remember a time when you were wholeheartedly patient? How did that feel? And if you picked card number 3, confidence is your power. I am confident. I am powerful. I am fearless. I see every challenge as an opportunity to expand and grow. I am confident. Think of a time where you were brimming with confidence, and how did that make you feel? So super, super powerful, fun way to start your day. When you finish with the 21-day challenge, if you want to continue with some sort of practice and you like to have that be guided a little bit, then these are an amazing tool that you could add to your toolkit. And with that, I'm going to stop the screen share and stop our recording, and then we're going to take any questions that you might have. Let me pause our recording.